I'm making a piece at the moment for the Lumen building in Newcastle, and it's based around the life of Joseph Swan. One of the main things that he's famous for is the invention of the light bulb. He first showed it in this building here at the Lytton Phil. My work is generally based around maps and charts and diagrams, so for this project I decided to track the whereabouts of Joseph Swan, and I used a map which incorporates all of the sites that he lived at or worked at or were significant within his life. Number 41 here is Underhill House, where Joseph Swan lived, and it was the first house to be lit with electricity. I take notes as I'm making a journey, and I record different points that catch my imagination, so it can be anything from a monument to a fire station or a man falling off his bike. We're just on Moseley Street, which is just along the road from the Lytton Phil, and it's the first site where the electric light was used as a street light. This is a piece that I've made during lockdown, so I slightly altered the way that I work. The decision to use photography this time was kind of a bit of a nod to Joseph Swan. He invented the first dry plate, so he was a major influence on the photographic process. I'm trying to record the whole sense of the journey, not just A to B. It's a different kind of journey, and I'm trying to evoke feelings in the viewer as well. The journeys across the northeast took me from Benwell and Scotswood Road, which is where one of his factories were, to the Lumen building, which is a new building. Granted, he didn't work there, but it's a nod towards Joseph Swan. With this piece of work in particular, I was taking photographs, and the photographs were informing the work directly, so I was using the colour samples to make this palette, and the colour palette was used to make the map and the key. The actual light of the day came through in each of the photographs, so the time of day, everything mattered, and those colours were actually used in the piece, so it was a direct transfer of light and colour into the work, which is something I've never done before. I normally paint, and those colours are mixed up in the studio after the event, so it's not such a direct process. Once I've got the map reference, I plot all the points on the actual map and translate that information so that I can redraw the map in the computer, and each of those points that I've recorded gets given a grid reference point. I'm kind of trying to give as much information as possible to the map, but without the physical geographical map being there, so it's my own interpretation of the landscape. There's 128 individual circles. Each one of these circles represents a different point on that journey. There's two colours in the concentric circle, and then also there's a longitudinal and a latitudinal line, and the colour of these lines is the same colour used in the key to represent that point. So it kind of ties it all together. So that was the map, and this one is the key. So each one of these lines of blocks of colour represents one of the photographs. Along the left-hand side, it's a list of all the places, and it's minute by minute. Each place that I passed along the way numbered from number 1 to number 128. So there's a text which represents each point that I've documented in the notebook, and then each one has 4mm lines next to it. And each one of those colours that I filled the line with is taken from the photograph. It's not Joseph Swan's journey, it's not a journey that he would have taken. It's a new account of his whereabouts within the northeast. I'd like the viewer to be able to read between the two pieces and read that one's a map and one's a key, and I'd like them to be able to find a narrative within the text on the key and build a bit of a picture of what was going on and how that journey took place, and understand that it is a journey. It may not look like a regular map, but it's got elements taken from a map which I'm hoping the viewer can see. It's my experience of a time and a place, it's my own take on a journey, and making the map and the key out of the actual photographs, so the images are of those places. I feel like it's kind of a pseudoscience. I'm forcing a scientific process onto an artwork, which is just a new way of me working, which I've really enjoyed.